What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Mangone, Hoop, myself, the usual Tuesday crew. Not the best slate. Obviously, when I say not the best, it's because I like a lot of games. 4 games, a lot smaller than usual. But hey, it's what Tuesdays used to be. Then it seemed like it was like 5 to 10 pretty much every day of the week. Now it's back. 4 games now. Thursday, there's only 2 games, but there's March Madness and stuff. But hey, 4 games, good prize pools as always. Can always make some money. Mangone, I'll head over to you first. Haven't talked to you in a little while. How was your weekend? How was yesterday? How has your training been going for Rubio, for Uncle T? Let the people know what's up. Convince them why to bet on you or against you.
I'm done convincing people, Ted. I've said to people, slide in if you want to. No one wants to slide in but the 2 guys on this show, which I've gained even more respect for you guys throughout the turbulence and all everyone talking smack. Oh, man. You're the only 2 have made wagers, it feels like. So, and Rubio, of course, as well. But yeah, I'm done fighting for it. I'm done trying to get some action. I got the action I want, and it should be a fun time. I mean, Judgment Day's coming, right? We'll know how it's going to go. It should be fun to watch as well. Hoop, the only downside is like he might not be there to watch it. You're coming in on Friday, aren't you?
I'm coming Friday. I got to be there, man. Like I need to witness this. What day are you guys playing?
So here's the thing. We've gone back and forth. So I think because Title, I believe your game, has that game been called off? That's the rumors.
Camp's officially off the board.
So I have been on board with the idea of, I don't really want to play Wednesday night when I like fly in and everything. Like that all sounds annoying. There's a 13-game NBA slate. Like why am I playing like, there's like 4 games at like 10 o'clock at night.
So Wednesday's off. So you're off Wednesday. Go to the
that's
next
what I was thinking. Well, so I was thinking
Yeah.
Thursday was a good day to play, possibly in the backyard on the slab, right? Might be a little bit of better setup too for recording reasons as well. But like also, I don't know, maybe the more I sit here and I don't have anyone wager, I kind of want to wait for Hoop on Friday, possibly. Like it's
I'll stir up the action. Like the backyard game should be like Saturday afternoon or something. I mean, I got to be there. So if you can hold off, that'd be great.
I'm willing to hold off. Rubio sounds like he's willing to hold off too, as well. And I want to make it clear I'm not holding off because I'm scared. I'm more so I got no one ponying up, and the one guy who is, I kind of want him to be there at this point. So
that all makes sense to me.
And like last time it was Saturday when all the afternoon games were going on. Everyone was like hanging out. I mean that was when it was prime time. Weather though, I believe there was a chance of rain one of those days. So
I think it was Saturday. Yeah,
Friday would make the most sense. But I don't know what time you're getting in, if you're getting in early or later.
I'll be probably lunchtime arrival most likely.
That sounds like a fun way to watch lunch or eat lunch, eat it in the
Actually,
back.
you know what we need to do is talk to Uncle T and find out where he's taking us because he owes us both lunch.
That is true. Uncle T, actually, there's rumblings of him saying steakhouse Friday night or maybe not steakhouse, but like get some steaks and grill for dinner on Friday. So
nice.
There's some conversation about some good meat being on the grill as well with all the good stuff we got there. So yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully the weather can hold up for Saturday and Sunday. That would be annoying, but worst case, if we want to go play some 3s and 4s, I know there's some talk in some of the chats, Big T calling some people out, doing some 2-on-2. And we got to have the cornhole ready because Uncle T, I'm sure he wants his redemption against Old Hoop last time because that was a tough scene for Uncle T last time.
I need points. Uncle T's got to give me points or odds. I mean, he's a better player than Hoop, so I need
points
something.
or odds when it's 23-4. That is something.
Was that the score? Was that the score? I did. I mean, I absolutely dusted him, and like he's not bad at cornhole. So I mean, maybe I'm just in his head at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Do either of you 2 know? Because I definitely do not. Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Anyone know?
I never watched that one.
It's a show. Mangone, have you watched that?
I mean, I've watched it, but I don't think I'm Mac. If I'm anyone, I'm more like Charlie Day. Is that his name, actually? Is that his name?
I have you're the only one that knows what he's talking about, I guess.
I've only watched like 5 episodes or so. It's a really funny show, but a lot of people have told me I'm very similar to Charlie. I look like him. The face is very similar. The guy, this is good for you. The guy does the conspiracy theory gif where he's moving his hands. He's got all the bulletin boards in the background. That's the guy I think.
I'm not sure I even know that, but hey, Matt, you talk, or you in chat, let us know if you think he reminds you of Charlie. Hingo, I want you to put in chat why you think this is the best slate ever, because hey, I don't think so. I don't know if any 4-game slate has been the best slate ever, but talk me into it. Maybe you'll get me a little more pumped up about it. We also got what? Richie Smalls in chat. What's going on, Richie? Always in here. Colin goes, Hoop, grind into the streams today. Hoop, golf show, NBA show, back to back. Tell the people, 3-man booth. You, AP, Big T.
Yep.
Talk about what you just talked about.
Yeah, we just recorded the Strokes Gain show. Usually it's a Tuesday night show. We're doing it. We did it this afternoon to accommodate all the travelers this week heading to Big T's compound. So that's already on the book. It's posted here on our YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. Slate breakdown, golfer by golfer breakdown. And then I believe tomorrow night will be the premium show. I believe Big T and Snyder basically just swapped. So Snyder will be on that premium show tomorrow night, which, I will have to check and see if there's weather or anything like that. They'll break all that down tomorrow night on that stream.
Yeah, so make sure to always check out Snyder's Showdown playbooks. I always enjoy him. He has good breakdowns, looks at all the weather. If there's an edge in the morning and the afternoon, always go check that out on the Showdown side of the playbook. Yeah, now that you said Charlie, a lot of people, Mangone, are agreeing that you look like Charlie, sound like Charlie. Someone asked
when we're at Big T's, ask me, be like, show me the Charlie video. I have one that you'll watch and you'll be like, it's to a T. It's so perfect. So you'll be on board with it after. Someone told me it when I was at a party, and then it's rolled since then. Everyone said it, and I've heard it from many people. It's really cool.
Who do you get any comparisons from people just over and over again? You hear the same thing or when you were growing up, anything?
Not really. Everyone used to say I looked like Freddie Prinze Jr. That was a long time ago, though. So he's out of the mix nowadays. But back in the day, a lot of people would say that. So.
You know which one I get? I see Hoop sometimes, and this is definitely a compliment with the.
I can see before. Sorry to interrupt. I just pulled. I can see the second. Yeah, one of the pictures. I can see it a little bit.
Yeah, people would always say that.
Yeah. Mine is, I think the one, it's either the FanDuel or the DK picture or the Brooks Koepka one. I think you look a lot like for some reason.
Yeah, someone has said it. Someone has said that as well, and I've never seen that. But, yeah.
I don't know. It's just I get. You know why I get it? It's when it's because I've seen those pictures of you with the gelled hair when you have the hair gel. It's that specifically.
I'll tell you one thing that's not going to happen. I'm not ever bleaching my hair, so that comparison can end right there.
What about get cornhole? You get a cornhole match and loser has to bleach their hair. You wouldn't get it.
That could be interesting. Yeah,
you and Uncle T.
Me and Uncle T. Loser has to bleach their hair. That'd be an interesting one.
I need Uncle T with blonde bleach hair. That would absolutely be. And then he has to keep the stash the same color, though. He can't.
I would take that for sure. Someone in chat I'll make sure to get the name. Adam Jackson. Hoop looks like John Isner. I looked it up. That's a tennis player. Hoop, you can look it up. It looks tall, lanky. I see the face. I see that Prince, what you were talking about. Big T is literally John Lester, Luce says. I haven't ever heard of that one, but John Lester, Big T. I like these. We got 4 games, obviously. We have some time to kill. We'll get to the games. Pretty good slate, but having some fun.
Actually, the one, speaking of DK pictures, Daniel Berger's DraftKings picture, I don't know if it's still the same, but it looks just like G Risen. I don't know if you've ever checked that out, but I really think Berger and G Risen look very similar.
Daniel Berger, G Risen?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? I have never came across that one. I like what someone said. Colin, title looks like Chase Reinford. His channel is Adrenaline Addiction on YouTube. He's a dope cliff jumper and base jumper. I'll have to check that out. Mangone's got a Rosie O'Donnell vibe. Rubio looks like the guy from Silicon Valley. Any of these? Who's laughing over there? Something clicked. Mangone, what's going on?
Title,
Rosie O'Donnell.
So first of all, when I read that, I just blocked that guy. You can block guys all the time. You literally, I look nothing like Rosie O'Donnell. Literally nothing.
I'm just reading. I don't even know what literally any of these.
The John Lester Big T one is actually pretty good. I pulled up John Lester. It's not that bad, I will say. But
really,
yeah. Some people just put some really dumb things in the chat, but some of them are pretty good. I don't know this other guy. Who's the guy you're compared to? Chase Reinford? Who's that guy?
I'm gonna have to look it up. YouTube. I guess he does stunts or something. Colin said. I'll have to look it up. Colin's always in chat. What's going on, Colin? I'll have to check that out. Or you guys look up Chase Reinford and you let me know, because I haven't really got too many. I haven't just got one.
He's got long hair, title. He's got very long
hair. I mean, the hair. I just
assume he had long hair. That's the only. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, not seeing too much more.
Not seeing too much. People, man, going, you got me dying and you got the chat dying right when I read the comment, like I blocked that guy right away.
If anyone says something like absolutely ridiculous, I'm like, okay, you're gone. Like it's like absurd. Like I mean, I get it. Like if you want to talk trash and say Ruben's better than me, I'm cool with that, right? But like I look nothing like Rosie O'Donnell. I'm sorry. I don't want to see anything else you have to say.
JT,
the chase dude looks pretty sweet though. He just does these free falls from like cliffs and shit. Looks pretty neat.
Yeah. Colin says that YouTube looks pretty sick. I mean, all that. I mean, that stuff gets my heart pumping just watching YouTube videos or guys free falling.
He free falls off cliffs. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out, Colin. Colin's always in here. He's got a good taste for stuff like that, so I'll have to check that out. But hey, it doesn't sound like I look too much like him. What else we got in this one? Someone said something about JT. Jordan said JT Hayes kind of looks like the dude from Fantastic Four. JT is just in better shape. All right.
JT is a beast. I will tell you that much. I mean, out of the entire RPS staff, I think JT is the last guy I'd want to fuck with for sure.
Definitely. I would. Yeah, we've talked about that before. I would not do that. Tyler McGill is Joey Work. Okay, Travis Duarte. Nadesify, you did not get blocked from Mangone unless that was your comment, which I don't think it was. Yeah, I'm Boss Cag Joe. Tune in for DFS, and all I got is 3 Bs. Come on, man. You tuned in for DFS. We'll get to DFS. There's 4 games. We're having some fun talking whatever we want to talk about. That's what we usually do on this show. But if there's anything else in chat that I like to see, or that's a funny comparison, I'll bring it up throughout the show. Always nice, making us laugh, having some fun. But we'll get into it. First, the members never win. We have to touch on it because the live final last weekend, the FanDuel and DraftKings won. RPS had a very good showing at the DraftKings one. 4 in the top 10 finishes for RPS. Leading was JSU, 6th place, 9th place, over $225,000 in winnings. Our boy Record, who is a member, he also had that golf article last week that was very, very good. I think I'll have more content with golf, but record 82 or record 62, 8th place for $100,000. Big T took 10th, $67,500. And then Eden Cohen, $17,000. Congrats to all of you. On top of that as well, JSU hit for another $50,000 in the NBA streets on Monday, right after the big live final. So JSU is on fire. If you're not a member, I don't know what you're doing. Players 33 is still going on. I was watching that golf show. Nate P says he doesn't know when that's going to come down. It could be any single moment that Players 33 gets taken down. So if you're not a member, head over to Run Pure Sports. It includes the SaberSim package as well. Make sure to check it out. Get the Showdown content on the Showdown site. NBA playoffs will be here before we know it. Opening day baseball. And also, talk about March Madness is here, obviously. Going to be here in a few days. We'll have shows every day. But RPS is doing something where people can win some RPS swag, some membership. Tell the people what we're doing over here.
Yeah, running a free bracket. It's on our Twitter. It was tweeted out, I believe, this morning. And yeah, basically like the top 3 finishers. If you get first, you get a year membership. Second, I think 6 months, and then third, like 3 months. And it comes with swag as well. So you can win some RPS gear, free to enter, obviously just a fun little thing. So, members, non-members, everyone get in it, fill it up. It'll be a lot of fun. I mean, March Madness is not really my thing. I know Big T is like at home peeling to this March Madness tournament. But it's a lot of people like it. I guess it's fun to follow the brackets and all that, see who advances. But like I said, not really my cup of tea.
You're one of the only ones, I think, Hoop. I definitely enjoy it too. I mean, it's March Madness, man. You gotta love March Madness.
So here's the thing. I like March Madness. It's fun, but Hoop is right. We are watching bad basketball. We're not watching.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad product. I saw some of the games, these conference games for a few minutes. I mean, it's just a really bad product.
He's correct. But the games are better and more exciting because they're closer games. They're not blowouts, but talent wise, it's not, but I like watching it. I get into it for sure. I used to like it a lot more when I was younger, for sure. I was huge into it, but as I've gotten older, give me the NBA finals over the March Madness finals. I'll tell you that. Just the talent wise, it's just way more better. But overall, I like March Madness. I will get into it. I won't be as much of a downer as Hoop. Hoop will probably be like, I'm going to go play Golden Tee, or he'll be like, I got to get out of here. Let's go get lunch. Hoop will definitely not want to watch. I will be sitting there watching and be very involved.
Well, it's funny because last year everyone was so pumped for this March Madness tournament. Everyone started drinking, and then no one watched any of the freaking games. So, like, everyone claims to be these huge fans of March Madness, and from what I recall, no one was even watching the freaking games.
Well, if there was one person watching games, it was Title.
Yeah.
Title was up in action in the MMA fight, front and center.
Yeah, rooting against his boys, of course.
No, well, hey, this week's gonna be a good one. It's in London, fight night card in London. Starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. Patty the Baddies on. It's a lot of fun names are on it, so it'll be a fun one. Hoop, you can watch that instead of March Madness on Saturday.
Yeah, me and Title will be huddled up somewhere watching the MMA.
No, Hoop's the guy while we're sitting there watching. There's 3 games on, and like they're all like pretty decently competitive because they're not that good. And then Hoop's like, "Can we get the golf on a channel?" Like he's trying everything to get the golf on. Like, Thursday.
Big T said only on Sunday. That's what I heard from him. I don't know.
It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, no, Hoop battles for it. He's like, get the like on Thursday and Friday. I remember he's just like, get the golf on. Can we get the
Uncle T secured me a TV with golf.
Uncle T, yeah, he enjoys his golf. Snyder for sure. Before we get in these games, a couple others that I'm seeing in this chat when I'm scrolling. Otter says Tyler from the bet side looks like young McGregor. I can kind of see that. Otters. Title looks like Poku. I definitely do not see that one.
I kind of see the Poku one a little. Not
you see it? I mean, I guess it's hard for like you to see something in yourself. So Mangone sees it. So hey,
I can see the Tyler thing for sure. Tyler and McGregor, I can definitely see that one.
Do you see the Poku got that thing, beard. Look at Poku.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. Like very slim. Title is a very slim face. Like I can see it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I mean, if you saw me in person, like the arms and the legs, like Poku's skin and bones, but he's also what 7 feet. I am not that, but yeah, maybe in the face, skinny face. What else we got in here? Hoop, you're getting some hate for that comments about the March Madness.
I mean, it's an unpopular take. I mean, people all pretend like, I mean, the funniest thing to me with college basketball, not to get into this tangent, but if everyone's such big fans of college basketball and stuff, why don't they watch it all year round? No one watches it. No one knows these teams. Like they pretend like they know everything once March Madness gets here. Like they're the biggest college basketball fans all of a sudden. No one's watching college basketball all season long besides our boy Stevie Boyden that we have at Run Pier. Crushes the college basketball content. But everyone pretends like there's these huge college basketball fans. No one watches college basketball until this week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Correct. It's like
Simon's in there saying it. It's like Thanksgiving with the turkey. Is that what you're going to say? The Thanksgiving food? That
yes. That's honestly the perfect analogy. That is the perfect analogy right there.
It's once a year. It's for and of course, like people too, they always talk about like they love the Cinderella story and stuff, and they love the Cinderella story until we get to the Final Four. Then no one wants anything to do with them. No one's really.
Yes. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but hey. It'll be fun. I enjoy March Madness. I am definitely one of those people that, I don't watch it year round, but when it comes to March, I'll be watching the games. But yeah, some people are definitely agreeing with you. I got some people someone in chat, Poker, said Golden Tee over March Madness all day.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't even like Golden Tee, so.
Yeah, being there, you don't see the Poku thing. All right, we're going to get into some basketball, though. Hit the like button for us. 108 likes. You guys doing pretty good. Hoping to give out the plays of the day today. Yesterday, they were decent. I'm on a little 2-day heater. DeAndre Ayton got the fire for us. Darius Baisley yesterday. Guys got to hit the like button for the plays of the day, though. We want to give them out. Hit the like and that big red subscribe button. Also, head over to Run Pier Sports. Players 33 gets you 33% off your first month. But let's get into the first game. So 4-game slate. 2 games at 7 p.m. Eastern, 1 game at 7:30, 1 game at 8. So all the games start within an hour, and you can do whatever you want the rest of the night with the kids, with the wife. If you're DC, you pretend that the slate locks at normal time at 10, and you just keep doing whatever you got to do. But first game, Memphis Grizzlies, Indiana Pacers, 235 total. Memphis is favored by 7. Going to the injury report, John Morant is doubtful, so we're definitely going to be going to Memphis for some value. On the Indiana side, Miles Turner is out still. Excuse me. Lance Stevenson, Goga, Duarte, Brogdon are all questionable. I'm still seeing. Mangone, I'll head over to you. Obviously, like Tyus Jones, going to be the most popular play on the slate, rightfully so. There's Dylan Brooks, who's back. Brandon Clark, Steven Adams. Guys on Memphis, you have to look at without their best player. On the Indiana side, it looks like we're still waiting on a lot of news. How are you going to approach that? We'll get it before lock, of course, but this is a game you can't ignore.
Yeah, I mean, if you could only play one game today, obviously you can't only play one, but if there was one game to have the most exposure to, it's probably this game because that Memphis side, no John Morant, that's a lot of usage to go around. And Tyus Jones at 3.4K at the point guard position becomes almost a near lock for me. I mean, he's just the best player on the slate. Playing two teams tonight, he'll probably be on both my teams. Doubt I will be fading him here. Next guy to talk about, let's talk about Dillon Brooks. Another really good value play, 4.9K, small forward and shooting guard eligible. I likely would slot him into that small forward spot. At 4.9K, it's a really good price tag. But the one thing to mention is he's probably the first guy off the court if this game does get out of hand. I do think there are routes where this game can get out of hand. And if you look at the last game he played, it was his first game back in 2 months. He's clearly a big part of this playoff run. Played only 25 minutes or 26 minutes. Shot 14 times. Yes, the shot attempts are there, but you can see it go the other way. And like if some of these bench guys are just doing really well, again, you could only see him play 3 quarters. That definitely could happen. So I kind of want to see how that shakes out with him. I think he's a good value play, but Tyus Jones clearly number one for me. Don't mind Dillon Brooks. Next, let's talk about Jaren Jackson Jr. 6.5K. Pretty good price tag. Like of the guys at 6.5, he has one of like the highest ceilings of guys in that range. Here's the problem. When Jaren Jackson Jr. is chalk, not typically a great play. The fouls are an issue. It's just, that's a guy that he can be owned by 40+% of the field, and he can get you like 15 fantasy points. And you're just like, okay, he got in his foul trouble. He didn't play that great. The matchup is phenomenal, though. It's against the Pacers. So I totally agree that matchup is great. There's a good reason why he's getting a lot of ownership. Will likely be very high owned in cash games. But in tournaments, he seems like one of the better fades where if you just fade him on that Memphis side, man, you're already kind of cutting out a lot of the field instantly. So that's a guy that I'm considering fading on this slate at the power forward position. Again, I think he's a good play, but at the ownership, I get a lot of concerns. So that's something to think about. Steven Adams at 5'8", at that center position. I like him a little bit here at 5'8". The Pacers are a team that you can beat up inside. I think this is a guy that has been playing great. If you look at the game logs, Hoop, you'll love the game log look. I did this on the bet show. It took a while to go through, but I think it's worth going through because I don't think he's getting a lot of ownership right now compared to some of the other guys for like a 4-game slate. He played against OKC, 33 DK points, which that's a perfect matchup for him to do well in only 25 minutes. You would take that. Knicks, not the greatest matchup. 25 minutes, 20 fantasy points. Pelicans, Jonas Valanciunas can pull him away from the hoop. 16 fantasy points, not as great. Houston, amazing matchup against these big men, 55 fantasy points. Orlando, against a guy like Mo Bamba, who can pull you away from the hoop, 17. Against Robert Williams, 19 fantasy points. Then he gets the Spurs, Jakob Poeltl, closer to the hoop. What happens? 36 fantasy points. Gets the Bulls, where Vucevic has not been great down low this year. He has been a guy that you can attack. I don't think people have realized that. 50 fantasy points. Then he gets the Timberwolves, got 30, nothing crazy. The matchup he was terrible in was Portland. He played 36 minutes and only got 16 fantasy points. That happens at times. Then he got Detroit for 44, Charlotte for 42, which you expect that because those are easy matchups for big men, especially those big men that play down low. And then against the Pelicans, he got 40. The one game he did well, one he didn't. Hoop, Steven Adams has to be a great play, am I right? Like, I think he's a guy that's overlooked in a better play than Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, I mean, in tournaments, it's pretty clear. I mean, I think out of all the starters, he'll be the lowest owned. He's had a lot of these spike performances and kind of able to match it up with the matchup, and he does good in good matchups. Tonight's a good matchup. I think he comes in, and I mean, he's not going to be unowned. It's a 4-game slate, but he's going to, like I said, come in lower owned than Jaren Jackson, come in lower owned than Tyus Jones, Bane, probably Brooks as well. Out of all the starters, probably the lowest ownership. So I'm with you. 5.8K. I think he's a guy definitely want some heavy exposure to. With Morant likely out, he's going to be out. This is the spot you want to be. You're going to need some Grizzlies guys in your lineups. Tyus Jones, Dillon Brooks. The Brooks thing, I don't think it's an absolute slam dunk that he's going to be on the winner tonight. He came back, only played 26 minutes. They played the Thunder. I think that was close to a blowout. It was like hovering around that 20-point threshold basically the entire second half. But yeah, there's a chance here he only plays, 25, 26, 27 minutes. But, at his price tag, it's a phenomenal play. Like Bane, Tyus Jones. Honestly, Jaren Jackson is always a risk. I think you laid it out perfectly. Like when he's a popular DFS play, we've seen it so many times. Like he tends to, underperform. Low floor guy. You know what the risk is. Like he comes and just hacks. Like he's just dumb. He's just not smart on the player. He's a low IQ basketball player, and he gets himself into trouble a lot. But at 6.5K, no Morant, they're going to need him tonight. So I get why he's getting the ownership. All the starters in play. I think Melton's another guy to add to the mix. 4.5K. Brandon Clark, I think you can play. Some people might look to Kyle Anderson. I won't be playing Kyle Anderson, but others will. You're looking at 7-8 guys here on the Grizzlies side that you can play. And then on the Pacers side, it really comes down to, who's in, who's out. We have Brogdon listed as questionable, Duarte, Lance Stevenson, Goga. We need to see who's in and out. 7 p.m. Eastern game. We'll get all that news. This is a slate where you definitely want at least a couple Grizzlies guys in your lineups tonight.
For sure. And Mangone, we were on the Sunday show, I believe it was, with Glock and stuff. And Duarte got ruled out. Lance got ruled out. And Terry Taylor, we didn't know if it was going to be Dwayne Washington, Terry Taylor, whoever it was going to be. He slid into the starting lineup. Now, he didn't do great or anything, but with his price on both sides, he'd be a very strong play if all these guys are ruled out and the starters are somehow. So waiting for this news. We're going to get it, of course, seeing who the starting lineup is. If these guys are out or multiple of them are out, I think Indiana is very interesting. Mangone, if they're all in, though, you're going to be playing multiple Memphis guys. Do you feel the need to run it back with anyone from Indiana if all these guys are in? Or do you think 3 Memphis guys or whatever is fine by themselves?
No, if all these guys are in, I'm not as excited about them. If let's say they are all out too, you can play, you want to look at Pacers. They're going to be very shorthanded. But the one thing to definitely think about with this team is I do think the Grizzlies kind of still will beat them up pretty badly because this Grizzlies team has been really good without Ja. So I think that this Pacers team, if you have these guys out, then yeah, you're going to want to jam in some of these options. It just depends what the salary is, where you're at. Terry Taylor seems like the best play, followed by Dwayne Washington, 3.2K at the shooting guard position as well. He's going to be a guy that he gets that really good usage off the bench with a lot of guys that are not going to be stealing it from him. And then on top of that, he could also close the game out if they're going with Terry Taylor at the 3. I could easily see them be okay, let's put Buddy at the 3. Let's get 2 ball handlers out there if the game is close. So I do think that there are routes for him to really have a successful game. So those are the 2 best values if everyone's out. Then you make the argument, yes, if you're playing those values and then you're playing Tyus Jones, now I need spend up. So might look to Buddy Hield, might look to Halliburton. They'll definitely be both in play. I like the Isaiah Jackson idea. I know Big T and JSU had him the other night. JSU shipped with him with that 50K. It was a really nice win. I was right behind him with Clint Capella. Fell 5 points short, so that was very hurtful.
Saw that. Big T was right there too. RPS was. You guys are all fighting over that.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle, but Jackson can get there. The only thing with Jackson you have to think about is he does have some foul risk, and this is a matchup that I get some concerns with against Adams and Jaren Jackson. So something I'll think about, but I still think he's a good play. He's still someone I think you need to be considering. And then Jalen Smith's another guy at 5'5". He's been great, and he's a guy they're developing. If you want a safe guy that don't think he'll burn you too much with all these guys out, at 5'5", I don't mind him. He's definitely in play. One last thing I want to mention on the Grizzlies side that I didn't really talk about too much was, because I want to throw that question over to Hoop, and I just want to wrap it up, is because I don't like Jaren Jackson Jr. as much, I kind of like Brandon Clark at 4.4K as a really contrarian option. You can attack the Pacers with big men, and I like the idea of playing Brandon Clark over Jaren Jackson at your power forward spot, because I think he's going to get some really good closeout run if this game is out of hand, or let's say that they are up by 10 for most of the game. They might not bring Jaren Jackson in right away. They might just say, let's let Brandon Clark stay in there if he's playing well. He's one of those guys that when you get these really cheap guys that are really good fantasy per minute producers, I like them when they play really bad teams that you can target at the position, like the Pistons and the Rockets. This is a perfect spot for a guy like a Brandon Clark to pop off. And then I didn't talk about Desmond Bane too much. 6'7". I like other shooting guards. I think Devin Booker is a better play. But if I fall in that range for my shooting guard, Desmond Bane is definitely someone I am considering, someone I will probably get exposure to today. Not a guy that I'm going to push my chips all in on, but I like him here in this spot.
Yeah, I definitely like Desmond Bane in this fight. I think that Brandon Clark call is definitely good. 22 minutes, 22, 25 the past 2 games, 29, 31 fantasy points. He's always a good fantasy point per minute producer, and no one's really going to play him on the slate. They're going to go to the Memphis Starters. Someone in chat asked how many bodies does Memphis have? They have 13. They usually play about 10 is what I'm guessing today. So yeah, even with Ja out, they definitely do have bodies. Last thing I want to talk about in this game, Jordan brought it up. He said, Dylan Brooks will have 200 family, friends in attendance today. And why I'm bringing that up is Bones Highland yesterday. I did not know that at all. He had 500 family and friends at the game, and he absolutely went nuclear. Unfortunately, Bones was what, 1% or less. Yeah, Dylan Brooks today with that price tag, with Job being out, he's definitely going to have some ownership at 4.9. But I always like those little tidbits that you guys add in about narratives like that. I know Mangone, definitely that pecker moves a little up when he hears stuff like that as well. So I like that, Jordan. Dylan Brooks.
I do want to say, Title, if you had a family and friends game, are you having 500 to 600 people? Like, that's an absurd number. Like, I mean,
I don't even think I could get 500 or 600 people to go watch me. I don't know. So the answer is no. I don't know how Bones knows that many, but he has like firefighters. Yeah, it was a pretty cool story, but no,
he had firefighters because like they saved it.
Yeah, but no, I could not get 500 to 600 people there. I know that.
I know there's no chance Hoop does. The older you get, the more people you lose. So there's no chance Hoop is 500 to 700.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't leave your house for work, when you're at home all day and by yourself. It's hard to know that many people when you don't really interact with the outside world all that much.
Yeah. So, hey, we spent a lot of time on that first game, but it's a very important one. It's the biggest news on the slate. Tyus Jones, the chalkiest guy for sure. If I'm 115, I'm personally hitting the lock button. Hoop, I figure he would hit the lock button.
Yeah.
And going, what about you though? Would you hit the lock button in 150? Then we'll move on.
Probably. I mean, if I didn't, it would be like that, like 5% or whatever percent I did. It'd be like all spend up guards, like something absolutely nuts. Like that it wouldn't be like, oh, let me pivot to the 3.3K or the 3.9K Killian Hayes. Like, no, it would be just like overspend on all the guards. That's the way I would fade Tyus Jones if I was to, but I'm not today.
I like it. Matt P, I appreciate it. I'd come watch you, Title. Thank you, Matt. Let's get to the next game. 347 watching, 140 likes. I'm not going to set a like number until after this game. Hit the like for us, though. I really do not want to hold them from you guys again. Just hit the like button, please. Hit that subscribe button.
Oh, did you say again? I didn't get to tune in yesterday. I thought I heard in the Discord chat, I heard someone held the likes. I didn't know it was Title who held the likes. This happened, Hoop?
Yeah, he manned up. He got the job done. He earned his stripes finally. I mean, I was looking at the likes during the show, and I was like, man, it's going to put Title in a tough spot. I know, he's a man of the people, interacts with the chat, which is great, but they didn't respond for the first time in a while, and he manned up and got the job done. So I was very proud of him.
He said manned up. Yeah, manning up, holding the plays of the day. But hey, they're going to get it for us this time. That I do know. Let's get into the next game. The Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic. 232.5 total. Brooklyn is favored by 10. Going over to the injury report on the Brooklyn side. Simmons is still out. Joe Harris is still out. Seth Curry is questionable. Cameron Thomas is questionable. So little news over there. As far as the Orlando side, Jalen Suggs is out, which is pretty big news on this slate. Gary Harris is probable. Mangone, I'll go back to you on this one. Without Jalen Suggs, do you have some interest in Fultz, who's played decent, RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony, maybe a Wendell Carter? I think the Orlando side's a more interesting side. And then talk about if you have any interest on the Nets.
Yeah, the Orlando side is interesting. Worth calling out, like there's 13 games tomorrow, and the Nets play on ESPN tomorrow against the Mavericks. So like you could see Kevin Durant typically gets a lot of minutes, but maybe he doesn't get his 40 today. Is that game at home or on the road? Because I think that is pretty important to ask about the Nets. I believe they're playing Dallas. I'm sure it's a road game. They probably fly to Dallas after. That's my guess. But it is an ESPN game though, so I think that does matter.
It's at home.
Yeah, it is at home.
Oh, that does matter then. Yeah, that's at home. Kevin Durant definitely. I liked him earlier when I was doing the bet show. I kind of liked him, but man, the more we're talking about it, like I am getting more concerned about him, which, hey, that can help some other guys. That can help a Bruce Brown at a 5.2K. Also, maybe Goran Dragic doesn't get the run today, and maybe they really just give Kyrie all the run today because that game's at home. That's something to think about. Seth Curry is questionable, so that's big news. I think Bruce Brown is someone that I like, though, at 5.2, especially if these Nets are up. It's a 10-point spread. If they are up, it's easier to kind of pull KD off the court a little sooner. So, that's definitely something to monitor. The Magic side, I do think this team is going to grind it out and play most of their guys. Like, I think Cole Anthony, I doubt he loses that last rotation. I'm sure he'll play most of the game because I do think that the Magic, they got Fultz on that minutes limit. So who are the other guards they would actually play if the game blew out? Well, they keep developing Cole Anthony like they have been all year long. I'm not as excited about RJ Hampton. I understand he's popping on teams, but not someone that I'm like jumping the play. Cole Anthony's probably my favorite guard, though. 6'3" on DK, 5'8" on FanDuel. My favorite guard from this game. We should talk about Fultz a little bit. Like, if you're trying to create some value today, like let's say you don't love a lot of the value plays, like you're going to play Tyus Jones, but if you need a guard at 4-2, I don't hate Fultz. His minutes are not great, but it's a 4-game slate. And yes, Tyus Jones is the best value. I wouldn't play Fultz over a Jones, but you could play both together and I wouldn't hate it. And if I did do that, maybe I'd play like a Kyrie Irving at the shooting guard position, because that means maybe he's the guy that gets most of the run because of that game that's going to be tomorrow. So yeah, I think that Wendell Carter Jr. is a guy I haven't talked about yet that I want to discuss. 7.4K feels like a really good spot for him. Well, let's do the Hoop game log thing again, because I did that on the bet show, and Hoop, I mean, he looks like a great play even at 7.4. Like, I think people don't like, I mean, I know he's popped up on some teams, like more on FanDuel rather than DK, but man, I'd rather play Wendell Carter Jr. over Jaren Jackson. 48 DK points, 41, 30, 39, 45, 38, 42, 35, 53. The safety and the matchup against a team like Brooklyn, it just seems like such a good spot for a Wendell Carter Jr., where I'm really interested in. And let's say that Mo Bamba, he's defending Drummond all game and he gets into early foul trouble. Well, now this is even better for a guy like Wendell Carter Jr., more rebounds, more opportunities down low. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for Wendell Carter Jr. I think at that power forward position where everyone's going Jaren Jackson Jr., I might go up to Wendell Carter Jr. instead.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a walking double-double at this point. Like, you're getting that bonus. The rebounds are almost always double digits, and so are the points. He's been really, really good. That price tag is definitely warranted, so makes sense. Before I get to you, Hoop, we did get this Pacers news. Brogdon will play. Duarte will play. Lance will play. Goga still game time decision, but the three most the most popular ones, or what mattered the most for the Pacers, are all in. So we don't need to run it back. I think all three of us agree. Memphis, you can't avoid the Memphis situation. And I do not think you need to run back now that this Pacers team is fully healthy. Hoop, I'll go to you. Talk about this game. Then a couple people have talked about Markelle Fultz a little bit. He has been pretty decent when he's came back. The minutes are a little concerned. Obviously, they're not going to run him out for 35 or anything like that. But talk about him a little bit in this whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Fultz. I think, if you're doing 150 teams, he's a guy to keep in the player pool. Low ownership. Obviously, the minutes are capped, but man, he 31 fantasy points and 32 and a half fantasy points in just 20 minutes. He's doing everything when he's out there. Just got a little more news. Seth Curry is going to be out, and Cam Thomas. So, that's in this game. We just got it.
That's really interesting for Dragic. I should call that out. Dragic played 38 minutes last game. Seth was out. I don't know if Kyrie may have not been in that game. I
don't think Kyrie was in that game either.
Yeah.
But Dragic could still get good run, right? Like, but they could obviously be a little hesitant to use him, because what if Curry's out tomorrow? They might need Dragic more. Like, they really, Kyrie is a guy that's not popping on any teams. They really might need Kyrie to kind of push it a little bit tonight and really just play more minutes, because he's got the day off tomorrow.
And kudos to Kevin Durant for calling out the dumbass New York City mayor. I mean, how stupid. Yes. I mean, that's literally the dumbest. I mean, the rest of the country is just done. I mean,
did you see Mark Wilbon go off at him? I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing watching Mike Wilbon go off about
or was
that.
It Mike?
I mean, it's like the people that are defending this shit, so pathetic. Kudos to Kevin Durant. I mean, there is literally no logic behind that.
I don't talk about any politics, any of that stuff. But
that's not even politics. I mean, honestly, at this point, that's not even politics. That's just being a dumb person. The fact that they're still saying that he can't play in these games. The rest of the country has moved on. How the fuck are those policies still in place? That is pathetic.
I think he got fined for going in the locker room too.
That's dumb. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever the hell, independent. I think we can all agree that is just ridiculous that that's still in place. Anyhow. In terms of DFS for this game, I mean, those guys out. I mean, I'm kind of like Kyrie here a little bit. I think he's going to be low owned. He's not really popping in projections a little bit. He's sitting out tomorrow night because of the idiotic policies in place in New York City. Should be full go for him tonight at 10-2. Low ownership, I think. So he's a guy that's definitely on my radar, especially in tournaments. I do still like Durant. I mean, we know the one thing with Durant, when he's active, he just plays. I mean, he's going to play his normal minutes. If this game's close, he'll play 40 and then he'll suit up and play 40 again tomorrow. That's just how he is. He's that sort of player. So I do like Durant. He could dust this slate. I mean, obviously, you look at the other guys. I think Devin Booker is a strong play, but Durant could put up 60, 70 fantasy points. So I do like Durant. I do like Curry. Andre Drummond's finally starting to have a stabilized role here. just plays better with those guys out there. I mean, it's kind of rough at the beginning when they didn't have Kyrie, they didn't have Durant. Got off to a little bit of a rough start, but he's bouncing back nicely. Dragic, I think, is interesting. Curious to see who starts for.
I'm curious too.
They're kind of running out of bodies. Yeah, if you look at this, like who's going to start?
I mean, it could be Dragic and 3 guards. It could with Kevin Durant at the 4. If they wanted to go like James Johnson, the bigger lineup, it really could be Dragic. I don't know. That's interesting. Patty, I don't know. Man, do you have any guess on who starts? I mean, we're gonna get like the starting lineup. So it's games at 7. We're gonna get it, but could be on the Up to Lock show. Do you have any guess?
It could be Patty Mills, but I don't think. I mean.
So yeah, none of us. It's short story. None of us really know.
Could they go like? I mean, I could see them go Bruce Brown at the 2, and then go like Kessler Edwards at the 3, just to have a guy that like is more low usage and keep those higher usage guys.
He just doesn't really play recently. He hasn't played last game 5 minute. Like
no, I mean your guys' guesses were probably better. I mean, I'm just
it's interesting, but really, I mean, regardless, though, it is a boost. It's more shots for the rest of these guys. For sure. And then the Magic side, I kind of like the Magic guys here tonight as well. They're kind of stabilizing their rotations a little bit and letting these guys play. Wendell Carter's been playing phenomenal basketball, fair price tag for him. Cole Anthony, I think, gets a nice boost without Suggs. Like Suggs had kind of, been taking a bigger role in the offense. With him out, I think a lot of it goes back to Cole Anthony, 5'8" on FanDuel, 6'3" on DK. Good price tags on both, playing a lot of minutes. RJ Hampton at 3.4K is certainly in play. Wagner at 5'3", I think is a tournament play as well. So I don't know, another game I think that has a lot of plays. So I'm definitely interested in guys on both sides here.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially now that the Seth and Cam Thomas being out. I had more interest in the Magic, but you have to have some interest in these Nets. I do think Drummond's a little interesting at 5'8" too, since we know the upside is there. Bamba, I mean, Drummond's way bigger than Bamba. If he wants to play bully ball, I think he can have some success. So pretty good game. Let's look at the likes. 360 watching, 166 likes. I'm going to say 220. I think 220 is fair. 30 less than the usual 250, but 220 likes for the plays of the day. We have 2 games left. Very doable. Hit that like button and that big red subscribe button. And also, Players 33 gets you 33% off your first month at Run Pure Sports. Head over. You can use the SaberSim package as well. That's included. And do not know how long that promo code is going to be going on for. Next game on the slate, the Detroit Pistons, the Miami Heat. 214.5 total. Miami is favored by 13. On the Detroit side, Cade Cunningham's questionable. Very big news on this slate. As far as the others, Isaiah Stewart's probable. Frank Jackson and Diallo are out. Going to the Miami side, Caleb Martin, he's out. That's all they have on the Miami side. Hoop, I'll go to you. I mean, obviously, if Cade Cunningham's out, you can look at some of these Pistons. But if he's in, I'm not seeing much in this game. I don't like picking on Miami.
Yeah, it's one of those teams that we've kind of been pretty consistent on all season long, like especially in Miami. Like you don't really want to have fantasy players going against this defense, and they're kind of at full strength right now too. So they have a lot of different guys they can throw at you defensively. Pistons have been battling and playing hard, but this is a very tough spot for the Pistons. So, as it stands now, no Pistons. Cade on FanDuel, I think, is fine at 7. I believe he's like 7.4K. I think you can play him over there. I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes regardless, but I'm not paying the 8.3. Now, if he's ruled out, things get a little interesting, but still nothing from a pricing standpoint really stands out. Like Sadiq Base, 6K, like he still has to do something at 6K. Jeremy Grant, 6'4". I don't know. I just kind of hope he plays, and then I mostly fade this Pistons side because I really don't want to consider these guys. And if he sits, I'm just looking at this. I don't see anything that really stands out. On the Heat side, they're a difficult team too now. I mean, they're basically at full strength. Oladipo, is going to have a minutes limit, but he's starting to creep up to 20 minutes now. Oladipo, Hero, Bam, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, there's just not enough to go around, I don't think. If I was going to play anyone, Bam at 8.2 on DK, I think that's a pretty good price tag for him. He should be able to get whatever he wants here against the Pistons. Jimmy Butler as like a last guy in. He's 8.5 on FanDuel, 8.6 on DK, but it would just be like a last guy in type play. And honestly, that's probably it. I'd say definitely the least appealing game on the slate.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I was playing a lot of Jimmy for a period of time earlier in the year, but he just has not been the same Jimmy. So I'm probably not going to go there. I think Bam would be my favorite on Miami, 8.2K. And then if Cade is in, the questionable tag, we'll keep him low for sure. If he gets rolled in, I still think the ownership probably a little lower than it should. We have the value, Memphis value, Tyus Jones, stuff like that. 8.3K. He plays all the minutes he can handle. He's shown triple-double upside. So I would have a little interest in Cade if he is rolled in. And if he's out, obviously, some of these other Pistons gets bumps. Man, I'll go to you. Talk about if Cade is out, who gets the biggest bumps for Detroit? And if he's in, what are you doing in this game?
Yeah, man, if Cade's out, it's definitely going to get really interesting to see what they do with the starting lineup. I'm assuming Killian Hayes slides into the starting lineup. I know Spread reminded me on the show it's a Rodney Magruder revenge game. I know Dwayne Casey loves his revenge games. He loves them, but I don't think he's going to slide in the starting lineup. I think they go with Killian. I think it'll be Joseph, Killian Hayes, Saddiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and then you'll see Isaiah Stewart, and then Bagley will be off the bench. I think Bagley and Grant would be really good usage beneficiaries to this because I think you'll see Jeremy Grant do a little bit more ball handling and have some more responsibility than what Cade Cunningham's been seeing. Also, I don't like Saddiq Bey as much because Cade Cunningham has been great. And I think that Cade Cunningham's like really good, just like ball handling skills can translate to more open shots for a guy like a Saddiq Bey, where he's more of a 3-point catch and shoot guy. He's not a create his own shot kind of player. So that's something I would look at. I do think Isaiah Stewart, you could see him get into foul trouble or just be playing a lot of defense where maybe you see Bagley pop off for a pretty big game or like a Grant, like I said, where Bam Adebayo is going to take some attention. And I think Isaiah Stewart is not a great play. I'd rather play Bagley or Grant if I play anyone, not guys that I'm in love with in this game. If you do see Cade Cunningham sit, like Corey Joseph could play a lot of minutes, but I don't see myself really playing Corey Joseph too much today. And then on the Heat side, they're just a little bit too healthy for my liking. The only guy I'm considering on the Heat side, and it's not Tyler Hero at 7.6K, which is a pretty crazy price tag. It's not Jimmy Butler. It's Bam Adebayo, mainly because center position, it's not bad today, but I don't see a lot of guys spending up right now. So because there's not a lot of spend ups right now, I think that a Bam Adebayo at that 8.2 price tag, if he plays like 28 minutes, he could easily have like 45 fantasy points in this matchup against the Pistons because it's such an easy matchup where he could have a big game and be on the winning team because it's only a 4-game slate. We also did just get news. Ja Morant is a game time decision and he remains doubtful. I assume he'll play, but if he plays, that'll just change up the whole slate.
Yeah, what does that mean? I mean, that
I was going to
definitely
say, what is that?
I mean, we're going to get the news, obviously, but like things like that are super annoying because like that's just
It's game time decision and doubtful usually don't go hand to hand.
Well, it would change the slate big time. I'll say
yes, definitely will change the slate. Everything will change.
That's why that Up to Lock show. I mean, it's always good to tune in, hear the takes from the guys. But even today, I mean, if Ja Morant's ruled in, this whole slate gets flipped on its head. And Discord, go ahead.
If the coach said he's a game time decision, why would he still be doubtful? Like, wouldn't he be questionable? I mean, I know he didn't do shoot around today. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I mean, good thing this is a 7 Eastern game, though.
Yeah, I have no clue. Like, if the coach says you're a game time decision, I don't know I have no clue what that means.
By the way, Ankur says that Ja's going to play now and ruin everything. I mean, I don't know if it ruins everything. Sometimes you can gain a huge edge from this. Like, people could be playing, like, for instance, if you're in that big $15 GPP, well, people will still play Tyus Jones. And not that he couldn't get there at 3-4, but if Ja Morant plays, like, you would want people to be on Tyus Jones. You'd want people to be on a chalky Jaren Jackson Jr. on a 4-game slate. So kind of disagree. Yes, adapting to it is a little difficult, and it seems like it's a really easy, straightforward slate right now. But there is an advantage to if Ja Morant randomly does play. You only got 30 minutes to figure it out, and we got JSU to help you out with that. JSU is on a pretty nice heater, so listen to him.
Yeah, exactly. Up to Lock show. Make sure you tune in. We'll be in Discord if that breaks. Obviously, the cast chart, playbook, heat map, all that stuff gets updated. Core plays, you name it. So to be honest, I'm cheering for Ja to be ruled out like 15 or to be ruled in like 15 minutes before or something. Obviously, we'll probably get it 30 minutes and stuff. But you're right, Mango. Like in that $15, so many, I shouldn't say so many, but plenty of people would still play Tyus Jones if he got ruled in like 15 minutes and stuff before lock, because people just aren't up to the news and don't check as much as we do over here. So Run Pure Sports, just another reason to head over, check it out. Players 33 is the code. We got one game left, and we need 30 likes. I know you guys can get it done. 30 likes for the plays of the day. 1 game left on the slate. Hit that like button and hit that big red subscribe button, please. Last game, 8 p.m. Eastern, Phoenix Suns, New Orleans Pelicans, 231 total. Phoenix is favored by 4.5. Going to the injury report, Chris Paul remains out. Frank the Tank, Dario Saric remains out. Cam Thomas is also out. Going to the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram is still out, but CJ McCollum will play. I mean, we have, as of right now, we're going to still assume Ja is out. We're seeing doubtful, who knows? So we have good value right now. I think you can play CJ McCollum at 9.4. He's expensive, but Brandon Ingram's out, so he's going to be that guy. As far as the Suns, Devin Booker, 9.6. It's expensive. We know the ceiling, though, and their spend-ups, or we don't have as many spend-ups to pay for. We don't have Jokic. We don't have Embiid. We don't have Giannis, stuff like that. So I think Booker and McCollum make a lot of sense. If you want to go DeAndre Ayton or something, I don't mind, but CJ and Booker are the 2 main ones I'm looking at. Man, go and I'll head over to you. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think Booker's a great play. I think if I have to pick one, it's Booker over CJ today for me. I'm assuming CJ is going to draw Markelle Bridges at times, which will definitely be difficult. No doubt. I do think that Booker is the one of the better spend ups on this slate. So I'll be getting exposure to him on my teams. Campaign definitely be an interesting pivot. He's also really good price tag on FanDuel. So I want to call that out. I'm not as excited about Ayton. I know you called that Ayton one the other day. Not as excited about him here in this spot. I think Bridges is like a fine last guy in, mainly because like if you're playing a 4-game slate, sometimes like if it was like, hey, play like the small forward at like a similar price in like a game that I have no exposure to, or already have exposure to this game, like let's say I have CJ and I have Booker, I would just rather like stick on the same game and hope it stays competitive rather than just pick from some random game. So because he's just kind of like a safe guy that I feel like he'll get me 30. And on this slate, like 30 at 5'9" at the small forward position, I might sign up for that for sure, especially if this Ja news hits. So that's definitely something to look at. Valanciunas is an interesting contrarian spend up play, but I'm not really excited to do that on this slate. I don't think he'll be a guy that I end up going to. I can understand in MME formats, just not the route that I'm currently going right now. I think that the Pelicans are this team that they're more expensive now. So it's harder to roster some of these guys where it's harder for them to pay off their price tag. So I doubt you'll see me going there. It's mainly on the Sun side. And I'd say Devin Booker is my number 1 play. I'd say number 2 is Campaign. And then number 3 is Markelle Bridges. And one last thing before we do that, we got to get the likes up because we cannot put Title through the pain of pulling the plug twice, guys. We just can't. I mean, I don't know if he can handle it. So let's hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Check out when all of the content goes live over here at Run Pure.
That's why I love you, man. Going, I appreciate it because I've been looking at him when you were talking, and man, I'm getting 2 in a row. That'd be the first 2 times Title's pulled it, and 2 in a row. I mean, I will. I'll have to. I'm going to keep my.
I don't know. I don't know if you'll go back to back. You'll stall. I mean, you'll stall worse than like a 30-year-old vehicle to make sure these people get there.
What is a better chance? What is a better chance? Title pulling the plug on the likes or JSURab playing because he's going through a pre-game warm up, but still doubtful.
I just don't get why he's still. I don't get why he's still doubtful. If he's going through warmups, he's more than doubtful. Like he's better off than doubtful if he's actually going through pregame warmups, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking common sense on this show, that's what you think. But I don't really know. But thank you, man, going for doing that.
I'm with you though. I hope.
As Chris said, do it for Title. You're with me though. Hoop you hope he plays too. Just flip the whole.
Oh yeah, I kind of do. Like 20 minutes to go. I mean, that's where us sitting there being able to make the changes. We got the Up to Lock show where they'll break it all down. Like that's where you find your little edges.
All the content.
Because really the slate's difficult. If you don't have those Grizzlies guys, I was just looking through it. Well, man, going with breaking down this game.
RJ Hampton is people are taking on RJ Hampton in chat.
I love these slates. Like I like these ones more because people play like bad plays at like higher ownership. And I think RJ Hampton would be really bad chalk. That's just my thought on it.
He'd be like 100. He'd be like 100% owned if John Morant were to be ruled in. Like there's just no value.
There's a good chance I would fade that for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
8 likes, Hoop. You talk about this game. 8 more likes.
The other thing, though, we got to get these subscription numbers up. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I mean, it should be easy at this point. I mean, we have multiple videos every single day, and we're struggling to get to 10,000 subscriptions. And we kind of talked about it before the PGA show. If we can get to 10,000 subscriptions at some point very soon, we're going to have a huge kickoff show, big giveaway. So we need those 10,000. So if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, get notified anytime that we go live for one of our many videos. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on.
Tons of sports too. You just said golf. We're doing this NBA. There's MMA.
We do a lot of free
NASCAR.
shows. I mean, we love the YouTube community. I mean, we do a lot of free shows. We could easily shift all these to premium, and then more people would pay the monthly subscription, but we honestly like doing the free show. So, the likes, subscriptions should just be second nature at this point. In terms of this last game, Devin Booker, like Mangone said, we don't have a lot of spends on the slate. Devin Booker is one of the premier spends here. And I like the fact that CJ McCollum is in, because now we have a higher likelihood that this game remains close. It's only a 4.5 point spread. If the Pelicans do keep this game close, which Vegas thinks they do, you could see a big back and forth battle here between Booker and CJ McCollum. I mean, I think both of these guys are, super talented offensively, where it doesn't matter who's guarding them. They could just go back and forth and score. I mean, last game, CJ McCollum shot the ball 27 times. That's a massive usage rate. So really like Booker, really like McCollum. The rest is a bunch of iffy type plays. Like I do like Ayton. I think he's fine at 7-3. Last guy in, not a building block. Mikal Bridges at 5'9". Okay play. Last guy in, not a building block. In terms of the plays on the Pelican side, man, it's just tough because they're all priced up now for that few game stretch where McCollum and Ingram have been out. So it's just really tough to play anyone else on the Pelican side outside of McCollum. But like I said, I think McCollum's a really good play, 9-4 on DK, 8-5 on FanDuel, and then Booker easier to play on DraftKings at 9-6, but at 10-4 on FanDuel, I think he's a great play too. I mean, just back to my initial point, if this game does stay close, we got a 231 total here. We have two very high usage guys in Booker and McCollum, which could result in a little back and forth. So I really like pairing those two together in tournaments. I mean, it's not going to be like a super uncommon build by any means, but I think there's a lot of upside there.
Yeah, I totally with you. I on small slates, I talk about a lot. I love pairing two studs in the same game because you're parlaying that it stays close. Obviously, you need that for them to get there. And yeah, I mean, a Booker, CJ, if they're both hot, they can go back and forth and make a game really fun. So I think CJ Booker pairing definitely makes sense. And I mean, if Ja plays, it would be hard to do, a lot harder than it is now, and the ownership would go down on it. So I definitely do like that call for sure. 222 likes, you guys and girls just got it for us. I do not have to pull it, thankfully. So we appreciate that. And that big red subscribe button, like Hoop's talking about that, hit that for us as well. But it's time for the plays of the day. Mangone, Sweet Travis, give us a winner to start it off.
Yeah, I had one with the Memphis news, but I'm a little annoyed because we don't have this value, but I still think it can work out. We're going to go cheap, and let's say we lose the value. It's still a Memphis guy that still gets decent run. It's Brandon Clark. He's going to get his minutes no matter what at that 4.4K. I think he's a really good play. So we'll go with Brandon Clark, 4.4K as my play of the day.
Went to you because I was actually going to take it from you. And then I was like, Mangone hyped him up too much. That'd be bogus of me. If Mangone doesn't say it, I'm going to use it. But hey, I like that call for sure. And it is tough though. Like if Ja plays, you're not going to probably play Brandon Clark, right? Or because there's so little value, are you?
Well, the thing is, the reason why I like it either way, Title, is because when you lose the values, you got to kind of start creating your own values. And he's been playing really well with him in the lineup, right? And if Ja is truly this doubtful game time decision, well, like he's a guy that'll probably come off the court if they're beating him pretty bad. And then you'll get Brandon Clark in those really good moments to have that blowout run. So I just like this matchup against the Pacers. And I think that at 4.4K, if you're meeting value and we lose the Tyus Jones value, well, now we got kind of have to start creating our own. And I think that Brandon Clark gets a boost no matter what. I think it'll help him out.
I like it for sure. I'll go to myself for the SO play of the day. And yeah, I mean, this could become value if, I don't know how owned it would still be, but if Ja's in, we lose some value. I think Markelle Fultz at 4.2K on DraftKings, 5.4 on FanDuel. I'm not going to go there, but 4.2 on DraftKings. The minutes are a little concerning, obviously, but if you look at his usage, 28, 28, 32, 20. I mean, the guy just, when he's in there, the ball's in his hands. He's making plays either for himself or his teammates. He always has stock upside. Markelle Fultz can get it done in a lot of ways. And at 4.2K on a slate that the value could be pretty bad if Ja does play. I think Fultz makes a lot of sense. And even a pivot, if you want to run a Tyus, Brooks, Markelle Fultz, and kind of go more of a stars and scrubs build on a slate like this, I think that could be contrarian. So Markelle Fultz, the SO play of the day. Hoop, the rich parents play of the day. Cap it off.
First time in a while, actually, first time in a long time where my play got stolen. It was going to be Fultz. I had Fultz pegged, so you took him.
Go takes mine. I had to take yours.
Yeah, it's just the last guy gets fucked, so that's where I'm at. Here's a quote though from the Grizzlies coach. It's a minor thing dating back to the fall he had against Minnesota. He didn't do much in shoot around to see how he feels pregame. I don't know. I think he's like questionable. I think he might be closer to like 50-50 to play, which would definitely shuffle up the slate. That's why I like the plays that you guys kind of laid out. I'll go to a mid-range guy. I'll go on the Magic. I'm going to go with Cole Anthony. Just has been much more productive when Jalen Suggs is out. Good price tag, 5.8 on FanDuel, 6.3 on DK. If we don't have these cheap guys, we might have to go a more balanced route tonight. So I do like Cole Anthony as the rich parents play of the day.
I like it for sure. We got Markelle Fultz, we got Cole Anthony, we got Brandon Clark as the 3 plays of the day. The slate, 4 games, but it's going to get interesting. This 4-game slate has got really interesting when we've been on the show. We've got a lot of the news. John Morant, though, the biggest news on the slate. Cade Cunningham, also the second biggest news on the slate. Still waiting for that. So the Up to Lock show, very, very important. Mango, and you said JSU's on it. I didn't look exactly who was on the show, but it doesn't matter. There's always winners given out. Make sure you go over, check that out. Get in the Discord if you're a member. Like I always say, there's nothing better than the Discord community. Run Pure Sports, Players 33 gets you 33% off your first month. Got golf coming up this week. Check out the show that Hoop, AP, and Big T just did on the YouTube channel for free. The premium show will be tomorrow, as always. Got an MMA show on Friday for a fun card. We got NASCAR. So much going on. Baseball's right around the corner. A lot of free agents being signed. So head over to Run Pure Sports, Players 33. Check it out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. We appreciate all of you hanging out, making the show fun. Spencer, Chris, Colin, Anchor, Mark, Rico. Thank you guys hanging out. Always make, like Hoop said, we could just have all premium shows and more subscribers, but these free shows are a lot of fun. I love interacting with the YouTube chat, making me laugh. I mean, in the beginning, talking about who looks like who, this and that. I'm about to go to the YouTube, Colin, check out that Stuntman and see what he's all about since it sounded pretty cool. But hope you guys all have a great Tuesday. Run Pier. Let's see the RPS logos at top. But that's going to do it for us. For Hoop, Man Going, Simon Behind the Sticks. I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.